Episode 8, Talking Guys.
How's it
Uh,
going, everyone? I
Oh my, what the?
I got called out. I got
That-
called out last week because these guys thought they looked so hot. So get with it.
This is why his camera was off for so long.
For so freaking long, and why
I
he
need-
stalled.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, hey, we have our second guest on. Johnny, it's good to have you. What's going on, man?
Hey, pretty good. How are you guys?
What's up, John?
Good.
Not as fancy as Seth, apparently. That's the
No.
thing, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's still
Peasants.
polo, so it counts.
Yeah. Johnny's classy. You guys though.
Johnny works for the Russian mafia, so he wears polos. Buddy
Facts.
boy Will is works for the Mexican cartel. That's why he wears a little, showing his
No, I
chest
work
hair.
with the family, bro. That's what this is. You never watched The
Seth?
Sopranos?
No, Seth is more of like
He looks like a commentator.
he's just one of those guys that does insider trading all the time, and eventually he's gonna get caught and go to jail for like 2 years, and then get out and
Non-stop.
be a millionaire.
White
It's
collar
worth it.
stuff.
It's worth it.
And I'm just one of those idiots that their dad gave them all their money, and that's why they don't care about life. So I think we've established that.
Bet
Seth, you look like you should be in front of a golf course.
in front of
With the
a
micro-
golf course.
With the microphone, yeah.
No, this
Yeah.
is my Rocket League commentating close.
hello, folks. How you
That's your
doing?
Rocket League commentating
Oh,
close?
yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Again with that play, Rocket League.
Gonna become
the
a
best game out there.
Debatable.
No,
I'm
no,
trying to
it is.
think of
It is
the-
the best game out there. So
Okay.
Warzone
Debate-
is the
debate
best
over.
game out
oh
there.
god, I'm already getting tired of Warzone.
Yeah, me too. Johnny, you play Warzone, right?
I played Warzone for a total of like 6 hours.
Nice. So went pro. Nice. Good.
Yep,
Good
pretty
for
much.
You.
Is there a reason that you stopped?
I was already playing too many games. It was the last one on the list.
And also, like, me and him work completely different schedules, so we don't
Also
even get to
true.
play that often. And half the reason we would play Warzone would be because of me. So if I'm not here to make him play it, and he doesn't have any other friends that really play it on a significant amount.
Wow. That's
No.
a little bit insulting. Whatever. All right. Cool.
Well, you run the
Okay.
same schedule as him, so
Not really. I've been staying up to like 2 or 3 every night.
Yeah.
While this guy keeps going to bed. Whatever.
Yeah, you can
'Cause-
sleep when you're dead.
Because I can't trust that the people I work with are going to show up to work and do their job, so I got to wake up. Early
I
and-
still have to wake up for my job, but I'm just staying up later. Because, you only live once, man. And I'm trying to, just.
But I
Cut
did
the
I
most
did the
out of
4
it.
hours of sleep like for the last like 3 weeks straight, and I'm like,
Only-
I gotta
wait,
get more sleep.
4
I'm
hours
dying.
in 3 weeks. That is insane.
I thought about joining the SEALs, but I feel like my sleep deprivation is just too good for them, and it just wouldn't be challenging at all for me. So, just personal. I didn't want to throw that out there, but now that I said it,
Hey, when you said the SEALs, you're talking about like SeaWorld, right? Like you want to go to SEALs?
yeah. I would prefer the killer whale tank, but obviously they kill people sometimes. So
Hence
Well,
the name Killer Whale.
yeah.
It-
But I
even-
heard
if they even have it anymore.
But I heard SEALs are extremely nice to people and not aggressive. So if I go in there, I'll be fine. It'll just be cold.
Wait, the killer tank whale? The killer whale tank?
Yeah, you've watched Blackfish, haven't you?
What is
The
that?
documentary on Netflix about SeaWorld.
Nope.
Really?
Okay, we're gonna leave that there.
Okay.
First topic. Johnny.
Never mind.
I know you are you're a
Oh.
police officer. How's that been going, man?
Well, I mean, day-to-day life it instantly changed overnight through different rules and regulations coming down the chain. So,
Any of that you can talk with us about? Like what exactly has changed because of the whole COVID-19?
well, I guess first off, I'm not in regular patrol, so it affected me a little bit heavier than patrol. I'm in a specialized unit that deals with the cultural district, and obviously with the whole COVID-19, it completely shut down bars. So there really was no cultural district. So basically, the entire function of my unit was nothing at that point. So I was kind of sort of turned into a relief task force for the rest of the city. Um, so I was covering, instead of one area, I was covering the whole city. Um, and people are like, "Why are you over here?" Because they don't interact with you. So it changed in that way. You obviously had to wear a mask for every public interaction, gloves. Um, if you get exposed or something like that, because they ask questions to the people who call in, and if they answer yes to any of the questions, then obviously ahead of time that oh cool, I'm going to a call with someone who could potentially give me something where I will be
Hey,
out.
speaking of, and I don't know if it's happened to you or not, but have you heard? I guess there are people that have committed crimes, and then announced that they've got the virus in a way that they hope will release them or reduce the exposure to other officers. Is that something you've heard about?
No, well, yes, that happened before COVID even really kind of how do I put it, blew up in America, right?
Yeah.
So um, before everything started shutting down, I had a arrestee who instantly went to the whole "I have corona, I have corona," and obviously at that point nobody really cared. And I mean, it's really obvious when you deal with people on a day-to-day basis. Um, they're people who say something because they think it'll get them out of something, and there are people who legitimately have it and they're scared of it. Whether that's because of media or because they're actually having symptoms that like have seriously affected their body. Um, but yes, I would say a very large portion of the people who get arrested will claim they have COVID-19 in order to try and get out of jail. And I mean, if it's a lesser offense, it's probably going to work. But I mean,
Uh,
if it's something serious, like I'm not going to say that we're just going to like not take people to jail, right? If it's serious and that person cannot be free that day, right? Like it's some kind of assault of offense or something like that, or they're just straight up too intoxicated, which is the lowest level offense. Public intoxication is class C where I'm at, so it doesn't really. It's the same as a traffic ticket, but
Have they
they
set up like quarantined, I guess, cells for that
um,
situation?
if the person actually does have symptoms, then yes, they will be quarantined. But I mean, everyone's temperature gets checked as soon as they get in. I know. I mean, it's not fail proof. It's you could be in an incubation period where you're not showing any symptoms, and that's something that you run the risk. But if there's someone showing symptoms, they go off by themselves and they don't have interaction with anyone else. So
I got you. Now, is there like a an area, I guess, for you guys to not wash down, but like disinfect? Like, do you guys have like an area that's set up for the officers when they get back to the I guess your base of operations for you guys basically to um, clean?
uh, so I have a vehicle that is signed personally to me. So basically, what happens is at the start of a shift, I'll keep it clean myself. Disinfecting wipes and stuff like that throughout the whole thing. Lysol spray in the back. And after every single person who gets put in the back, you disinfect the back. But if there is an exposure to your vehicle, like you had to transport someone who is saying they have COVID-19, then basically you have to down your vehicle and you have to have it. If there's actually like some kind of bodily fluid in your vehicle or something like that, which happens often, you basically have to call for a tow truck right now. And
Jeez.
and the tow truck will take your vehicle to a station in a government-owned property that has basically a hired team that disinfects the entire
yeah.
vehicle. Which obviously smaller agencies don't have that kind of resource to be able to do that. But the agency I work
Why
for,
would they tow the vehicle instead of having you go to a specific designated area? Is it because there is a
Exposure.
possible?
I feel
Well,
like it would be
if
exposure.
he's already in the vehicle driving it, right? When it just makes sense to have you guys go to a designated area, you drive there yourself.
So it depends on the level of risk, right? So if there's a bodily fluid thing, then no, we wouldn't.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
If there isn't, if it's a lower risk one, then yes, we can drive it and have someone pick us up. But they want as minimal amount of contact between people,
Okay, yeah,
so
I
that
didn't think
way,
about that, but yeah, that makes sense.
because there's a specific team that's dedicated to backtracking things, right? So if an officer gets COVID-19, they have to track back who that officer's had contact with, so they can minimize the impact of it. Because one unit in particular been has caught COVID-19, right? And it was a snowball effect inside that unit. There was ended up being like 6 people caught it
Wow.
because they had a meeting essentially before this really blew up.
So they all got sick because they didn't know that they were even sick at the time.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I mean, this department has done a really good job overall minimizing the risk of an officer getting exposed. There's no roll calls. Everyone gets their temperature checked when they come into work. Everyone's basically staying in the same vehicle, and we have a company that goes to each sector and sprays down vehicles with this. Dude, if you even tried to say the name, I'd get it wrong. It's some kind of uh, alcoholic substance that kills it. I don't even know, but
We'll
it's
call it Smirnoff.
sure. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make everything sticky and it would suck, but they have a substance that they spray inside the vehicle and it takes like 15 minutes to dry, and then your vehicle smells nice and chemically for a while.
Yeah,
But
that
And
chemical
you
smell
you crack your windows a little
never doesn't
bit
get old.
and just roll around hoping that eventually the chemical smell goes away.
My air
Yeah.
freshener is actual chemical smell because I like it. So yeah, I'm a little jealous.
I mean,
It's like Lysol air freshener. Yeah.
You don't want that Fabuloso? Come on, man.
I actually love Fabuloso. It smells really good.
It does.
It's
I also
crazy.
really like the smell of bleach, which I meet so many people who don't like it, but I like it.
Is that healthy?
I'm not saying sit there and inhale it, but if you use bleach on something and you can smell it in the air.
Just asking.
You like the smell of bleach. Are you being for real right now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right.
I mean, he just associates it with clean, maybe. Probably. So he likes the smell of
Probably.
clean, is what it is.
I do like clean things.
So, I have something overall since this has started, has it been like crazy just how different the job was before to what it is like now just because of like I know now they're starting to open things back up but for that period where like people were supposed to be staying in, I don't know how well they did it over where you live. But it was like, did y'all see like this crazy decrease in calls where it's like you're just sitting around waiting, or did you see like an increase in crime, or like how was it
Um,
for your area?
well, what it did do, um, the calls did drop a significant amount, right? But not in the same way that you would think. Crime did not stop. Crime doesn't stop.
Shocker.
Because
I thought I
here's the
took the
thing:
weekends off.
the people who are sitting there doing all the stuff that is like considered part one crimes, they don't have that is their job, so they're not gonna be like coronavirus. Y'all are safe now. Um, so that in particular uh, portion of calls stayed there, right? Now, certain types of lower priority things that the offense has already occurred, nobody's there anymore, there were no witnesses, stuff like that now goes to a data reporting unit, right? Hit and run accidents that either the person didn't see the person who hit their car, or they did see him and the person's already gone and the person's now safe at home. That goes to the data reporting unit now. So it cuts down a lot of face-to-face contact between a lot of people. So that also creates a pretty big dead space in the call load, right? So yeah, I mean, there's been a significant amount of time where you're not doing anything, and there's no businesses open. I mean, things are opening up now, yeah, but at the time, there's no businesses open. There's not as many people on the road, so it's kind of like patrolling a ghost town at certain times of the day or night. But I'll tell you what, it created a huge influx of people at that are outside jogging, riding a bike, or walking in the
My
park or something.
neighborhood is super active.
Yeah, so all like it's human nature, right? You're told stay inside, and you're like, but I like going outside, so you go
I
outside.
haven't been outside in weeks, but now.
I mean, what I'm getting at is, people are told not to do something, but there isn't necessarily a way to stop them from doing it, so they want to defy it.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, it's
So,
just
and I mean, like, as a police force, it's like, what, you're gonna pull over every person that's jogging and like take them to jail over it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how
Every
can you
Oh, no.
really?
single one.
You
no,
know?
because there's this nice thing called the Constitution that
Right.
you don't want to mess with. So
So you kind of just are
Never
like,
heard of
well,
it.
at least they're like sort of like staying away from each other, maybe. And
um,
because we definitely saw that where I live, like all sorts of people out and about, but like not in their cars, like just like walking around,
yeah.
going on walks with each other, um, yard work. I've seen more people out in our neighborhood than I did for the first like 2 months we lived here, for sure.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
yeah. Earlier you mentioned your patrol car that you've got. Uh, obviously, I'm assuming it's assigned to you, so it's your personal work vehicle, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you guys are allowed to do, like change, not like pimp your ride out, but like personalize it a little, or are they
Pimp
restrictive, I
your
guess,
ride.
and having you can only have the uh designated items in your car?
I mean, as far as mechanically, you can't change anything. Um, but as far as like what you bring into your vehicle or what you do to the inside and stuff like that, I mean, if you're not uh, devaluing it or anything, you can obviously choose your own personal air freshener and stuff like that. I mean,
Bleach.
yeah, there's
Your own personal bleach, yeah.
you can customize the computer and stuff like that. So like with the keyboard and stuff, you can set your own color with the software that you use. You can actually adjust the color interface of it and stuff like that. Um, but I mean, there's not really a whole lot of personalizing you really need to do. I know it sounds kind of robotic, but
Are you allowed to do underglow?
no. I mean, there's
No. No.
realistically the only uh, color that you can even do really is white because you have
I mean, you can legally do red and blue. Like, while, us normal people can't on our cars.
Yeah, you take
So,
the light bars that are on top of the
you
vehicle.
have an
put 'em underneath.
opportunity and you're not using it.
actually some vehicles. Okay, so this is something that's really interesting. Is my department can't figure out which vehicle that it likes the most, right? So the contract is constantly changing on what we're getting. So we have, and this is gonna okay. So we have a grand total of 7 or so different vehicles in patrol, and honestly, I'll probably count it out, and that's different. But we have Crown Vics, right? They're pretty much getting phased out completely, but there's still units that have them. Explorers, Tauruses, Tahoes, Chargers, F-150s, and there was
Lamborghini.
I mean, there's motorcycles, but I mean, I don't really count
Super
that. So I guess it
luxury.
is 7. So
Corvette.
anyways, and there's different. I wish, but no. Anyways, and there's different year ranges of them, right? So like you have the Charger, and you have 2 different models of the Charger because of the year gap between them. And same with the Tahoes, right? There's the brand new Tahoes, which are like amazing, and there's the old Tahoes, which are still amazing, but they're just like 4 inches lower because the suspension's never been changed. Yeah, I mean,
You said you have your own personal vehicle. What do you drive? What one do you drive?
Charger.
Oh,
Charger.
nice. You get a Charger.
No, it's not nice at all.
Oh, you don't like the Charger?
I mean, here's the thing. Is it fun to drive? Yes, it's probably the most fun to drive out of all the vehicles, right? It is definitely the fastest, but it handles really well, right? Because it's all-wheel drive V8.
Oh my
So
God.
who doesn't want to drive that?
Yeah.
But the thing is it's so low to the ground, and the suspension is very stiff, right? So every bump hurts your back. And you have to be careful how fast you hit that bump, otherwise it'll bottom out. Mine is a half cage setup, so they were testing something out. Because with the lack of space inside the Charger, if you rode 2-man, you don't really have enough room for all your stuff. So they did a half cage setup where it's plexiglass, right? And it's basically just like a little cell, and you put the person in there, and you can have stuff on the other side that's your own personal items. But
Oh, wow.
when you have a combative person and you try and put them back there, what you could do before is, one person's trying to shove them in, and the other person goes to the other side and pulls them in, right? But you can't do that because there's plexiglass there. That sucks.
And people never get combative. Obviously, they're like, "Yes,
Oh, yeah.
sir,
Never.
officer. I've got you. I did wrong. My bad. I got super drunk. I shouldn't have done that." And then they just get in the car and you drive and take them there, get them out of your way.
I actually hear they're phasing out handcuffs because people are so compliant.
Yeah.
You're lying to me.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. You actually had me going. You had me going there for a minute. I don't know why I believed you, but I did.
Oh,
And Pat, I want to actually get back on that with what you just said just a minute. Is that actually is another question that I got for Johnny? But you had mentioned obviously with what you drive. Is that something you got to pick, or is that something that was issued to you?
Okay, so like again, I'm in a specialized unit, so I'm not regular patrol. Regular patrol only gets certain vehicles, right? They have some Chargers, they have some Tahoes, and most of the Explorers are phased out. However, we're end up going to be phasing out the Chargers and going back to Explorers and Tahoes most likely.
Oh, so Ford is going to be the new contract.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
There is a contract with Chevrolet for the Tahoes. So we're getting Tahoes. They are the most roomy, and that is a huge thing for patrol is having space. So the Tahoes are very versatile in the fact that they're the tallest, so you can get over things like curbs very easily. I mean, you can get over them in the Explorer, but you have to you got to be careful on how you hit the curb.
The science.
Yeah, it is. It is really
I actually okay. So Johnny, when you were going through your training to become an officer, they made you do a driving test, right? Didn't they?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah. And
there's a course.
this guy was actually insanely good at it. Am I mistaken in that or no?
No, you're correct.
So, like, how many people was in your class?
We started with 60, and at the time of the driving course, I want to say there was 50 people or so, maybe somewhere between 50 and 45. So.
And you were the one that like had the best score of everybody in the
Ye-
whole group,
Yeah,
right?
I was number one for driving.
Yeah. So when he graduated, I went to his graduation ceremony. They had a trophy they gave him for being the best
Yeah,
driver.
it was.
And he actually taught me. So one thing that's very interesting, right, is when you get taught how to drive, like as a young person, your my parents were always like, you take the steering wheel, you put your hands like this, you know.
Wait, you guys were taught?
But
Oh,
but the way they teach police officers or people that drive vehicles and at fast speeds to take care, like chasing people or whatever, it's like a whole different method, right, of how they actually steer the cars.
yeah.
Use your
How do they
knees
go
so your
about
hands are
that?
free.
That's what I
You
do.
know, it's funny you say that because I do drive with my knee sometimes. But no, no,
I
no.
think everybody's
I
done that.
definitely do.
You actually drive with the bottom half of the steering wheel. You don't hold the top, you hold the bottom, and you actually shuffle the steering wheel. And that sounds weird, and it does take a good amount of time to get used to, but it offers a different level of control over the vehicle. And since we're not in a vehicle for an hour, right? We're 10-hour shifts, and you probably spend half the time driving.
Right.
So if you were to spend 5 hours a day driving with your arms on top of the steering wheel, your shoulders get tired and you fatigue. So that offers a more relaxed position to drive and offers you the same, if not more, control of the vehicle. Obviously, when you go to turn all the way around, you still go this. You can't change that. That still is what you do. But shuffling, when you're having to constantly go from one direction to the other, it offers you a lot of control. It's very nice. Obviously, transition to my daily driving and stuff. So that's
Yeah. And like when you were doing the driving course, like you had to follow, right, the proper
yeah,
procedure that they had taught you. Like you weren't allowed to just drive it how you felt comfortable driving. It was how they wanted you to drive.
yeah,
So it's actually interesting because when I drove Uber for a while, I actually did that without even knowing that was why I was doing it. Because I got to the point where, yeah, like you drive Uber for 30, 40 hours a week. I mean, your shoulders and arms got tired from just doing this on the steering wheel. So I would get to the point where I would prop my hands up on both of my legs and then just like shuffle back and forth with my finger. But I never really realized that it was like actually something that was a thing besides me just being lazy and trying to find the most efficient way to drive. So
yep.
Now, when they had you guys do the driving course, did they have every I guess applicant test the same vehicle? Did you to choose, or did they choose, I guess, for you? Like, did they give you like a lineup of cars and say these are the ones that you can pick from to test, or did they make you test every one of them? I guess.
Everyone drove an Explorer during my academy. However, this one that just went through drove Tahoes and Chargers. Mainly Tahoes. They didn't really put them in Chargers, but they got to get in them.
Do you know if
Um,
the course would change depending on the vehicle, or is it just
yes,
okay?
yes. So there's if you got certified with the Explorer, technically, in order to drive a Charger or Tahoe, you have to do another course because the Chargers are faster and the Tahoes have a higher center of gravity, so it's easier to roll them. Um, and here's the thing: is there's a difference between driving a car every day and driving a car in a patrol function, um, and that's why people don't get away from us because they're not used to driving in cars in an intense manner and not crashing. So
yeah, they did. But
uh,
contrary to the movies where the police officers always crash and the people running from them always drive perfectly,
Hey,
it's
that's
not
what
like
happens
that
in
in real
GTA for
life.
me. So yeah, I've
Oh,
yeah,
never
oh,
had any
okay.
issues. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's there's a lot that goes into it now. Obviously, we have policies and stuff like that on what we can and can't do. So if a pursuit goes into the wrong way of the road, then typically we'll have to cancel, if not try and parallel on the correct side of the road. It depends on the offense and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as getting back to training and stuff like that, yeah, I trained on an Explorer. As far as the vehicle, it's comfortable. It has good suspension. It's too slow. Now that is the 2018 model and like 2016 to 2018. And we're supposed to be getting some hybrids. And that sounds like as soon as you hear that, you're like, eh. But it's legit, 50/50, where it's got an engine and it's got motors for the wheels too. And they're actually supposed to be
the new NSX is a hybrid.
Okay, that's also kind of like a supercar.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm just saying, like, hybrid, it no longer means like, it's just
Uh,
super slow and efficient.
But that's not something that's readily available to the everyday driver, isn't it?
It is readily available. You just have to buy it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyways, so they're supposed to be only like a half second off of the charger. So that's pretty good, but I still haven't gotten it yet, but I'm supposed to get one.
Earlier, Pat had actually mentioned about the, I guess, suspects, criminals, whatever you want to call them, pleading or saying, "Hey, I didn't do this, didn't do that." Are you able to disclose the like the craziest situation that you've gotten into where someone has offered or try to bribe you? Like what the craziest instance has been? Is that something you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, so
People
in case when
probably ridiculous.
when something's already been a trial or something's already been convicted and stuff like that, I can talk about it because it's readily available to the public. So let's see. I want to say it was the first month, I want to say, on the job. So it's been a while, so I can definitely talk about it, and it was definitely one of the more entertaining ones. Patrolman walking around patrolling in a back parking lot behind some bars, and I mean, what you expect to find when people are behind bars at night. So there's it's like 1 o'clock
Well
at night.
behaved, I'm sure.
There's this full parking lot. We're just walking around, not expecting to find anything, and we look over, and there's a guy looking at us, and he's like, and we're like, "Are you serious?" Like right here in front of us. He's got all the white powder on his nose and stuff like that. So we pull him out of the car,
I
and
love powdered donuts.
yeah, right. They're delicious. Not really, but
And thus the cops smelt it in the air and
no,
came.
you cannot smell cocaine
Powder
powder.
donuts? Yes, you can.
Sure, you can smell pastry, not the
I'm
powder.
sorry, I couldn't help it.
So yeah, the age-long joke of cops and donuts. And stuff. So, anyways, yeah. So we pull this guy out of his car because obviously he's snorting the.
Hey, he's committing a crime right in front of you guys.
Yeah. So, anyways, we pull him out and put him in handcuffs and stuff like that. And the guy is instantly, it's like, "Hey, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And I'm like, well, of course you didn't know that there's gonna be a cop walking up on you when you're taking a snort. But anyways, that's besides the point. And he's like, "Man, I own a roofing company. I own a roofing company. I'll roof your house for free." And he's like, "Well, first off, my house has an immaculate roof, so no, thank you." But there's all sorts of things. People go instantly to trying to roof your house. There's the whole the female end of it, and that gets entertaining too. Whenever you're arresting a female, and the things that she offers. And the good news is we all wear body cameras, have cars inside the cameras that record the person that is in the back being arrested, which allows you to joke around, right, with that whole aspect of the job, and it makes it kind of fun whenever there's someone in the back.
Because they're basically kind of incriminating themselves, correct?
Yes.
In a way, yeah. So like
And they're
the
committing
longer you
another.
get him to talk and the more things you get him to offer, the more
And
you're like, well, they tried to bribe a police officer to get out of there.
yeah, they're committing another offense if you really choose to push it that far. 9 times out of 10, you don't really you don't really go for that. You just let them sink themselves into a deeper hole with the current offense that they've committed, because it's an overt statement. We're not making them say that. They're saying of their own free will without prompt or anything like that. So we just let them sink themselves in a deeper hole.
So how's the new roof?
I mean, it was new when I bought the house.
Oh, wait. So you didn't take him up on that offer? I mean, that's a pretty
Oh no,
solid offer, dude.
I prefer to keep my 30-year
Oh,
career. So
wow. So you prefer to keep your job over getting a like $10,000 roof for free?
yeah, for sure.
Plus, would he really do a good job?
I mean,
in
yeah,
his current
that's the
state?
risk you run. I mean, what if the roof is worse than it was before?
What if he doesn't actually own a roofing company and you just bought into it? You never know. I mean, risks.
Yeah. Wow. I know we're gonna move on from police talk, but a lot of those stories, man, just really interesting how it's changed, day to day operations with the quarantine and all the different training that goes into that. So question, and I guess maybe it could be related somewhat to police talk. Have any of you guys ever broken a bone?
Yeah. On my team alone, I'd say at least 6 people have broken a bone. Me personally, yes, I broke a pinky, and that's
What did you do to break it?
So there was a call at the Wendy's parking lot of
Oh, great. Wendy's.
unruly subjects. And it's just right at like 2:15 in the morning, so it's
Yeah.
At this
the bars
Wendy's,
close.
hang on, did this Wendy's have tacos or curly fries?
Ha 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 ha.
We're making
Ah,
fun
you,
of Patrick real quick.
Yeah, we're making fun of Patrick. So the Wendy's parking lot said something's going down.
Yeah, so there's drunk people arguing with each other, and obviously they don't get along, and someone takes a swing at someone right in front of us, so we instantly grab that person, and they're pushing back because drunk people don't really realize what's going on. It takes time for them to catch up mentally. So the person's resisting, and we're right next to a curb, and so we end up tumbling over the curb. And I mean, your natural response is put your hand out. And when I did that, I actually I landed on my pinky. So
Oh.
it broke. But I mean, at the time, I didn't know if I had jammed it or if I had broken it because there's adrenaline involved and it's your pinky. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not Tony Romo. Okay. I can still play. Anyways,
Ooh.
so
Oh.
I didn't realize it was actually broken for like a week, so I didn't even report it.
Oh, there you go.
And you're
But,
like, this thing is not healing
I
correctly.
was like,
Something's going
ow.
on.
Ow. Yeah, so it was one of those things. I mean, hindsight, kind of wish that I had done the whole medical report and stuff on it because it's permanently bent, right? Which kind of
Hey, you have another one, so it's okay, right?
yeah, right. I mean, this one's fine. So
half 50-50.
Now, instead of that. Oh, wait. No. Okay. That was
no. Most people use tiny spoon scoops, anyways.
Oh, okay. That actually makes a lot more sense. Like the little baby teaspoons.
I
No, there's
I have a
actually
little thing that it's a two in one. It has a spoon and also powdered donuts.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Powdered donuts with a
He's
spoon.
like, get
That's
out.
fancy.
I mean, I guess the more severe and breaks that have happened recently were in training, helping out train recruits, right? Freak accident, rolled his ankle, broke it, and tore like 3 tendons. So yeah, the guy's been sitting at a desk now for like 6 months. So,
It's, I'm sure, been an extremely exciting job for him. Everything he signed up for.
I mean, he's missed the entire COVID-19 thing. So
Yeah,
Probably
hindsight,
not
I
too
guess,
bad,
right?
think.
yeah. So
Yeah,
It's
Seth,
not
you
bad.
hesitated earlier when I asked. Did you broken a bone before?
Oh yeah. How many? I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
So I've shattered my whole right hand. I more than likely broke both of my middle fingers. They're both crooked. They've either been insanely jammed or broken, but probably broken. I've broken 2 ribs. I have, yeah. I
Okay.
twisted my
Well,
spine, which didn't really break anything, but
Yeah.
injuries.
okay. Well, obviously that's too many to get a story for each of those, but your worst break and how did it happen?
We don't need to talk about that.
yeah. We should talk about that.
Oh,
So I completely shattered my right hand. Well, half of it. Just here and over. Doctor said worst boxer fracture he's ever seen. That happened because I was trying to save a cat out of a tree and I fell and it got ran over by a car.
Wow.
okay.
That is F. Straight up.
Yep.
You
No.
wrote
Dumbest story I've ever heard.
It
Give the
was
truth.
it was a basketball injury. I had a really horrible ref who, all right, so backstory on this ref. He did not like me. Don't know why. Probably because I was more handsome than him.
Well, clearly, I mean, come
Clearly.
on.
And
Clearly.
but I mean, so we were like within 5 minutes of the first quarter. Like, I mean, game just started and he called 4 fouls on me, and one of them I committed. All the rest I wasn't even close. But this was one of our he was in normal rotation on our games, and he did this to me all the time. Like, you'd call anything and everything he thought he could get away with on me. So anyways, yeah, he got 4 within 5 minutes. I had to be pulled from the game because star player, you can't have me foul out that early.
LeBron over here.
Yeah. But
Well, you're pretty much done.
in
They
other
could've
words,
pulled you after 2.
I was not happy. And so whenever I got pulled, I went behind the bench and I punched a wall.
Wait, how old were you at this time?
Oh, 18, 17?
Probably 17. I think it was
Yeah.
senior year. Yeah, so
Wasn't
I
it?
was about 17, almost 18.
You missed the entire senior
Yeah,
year,
I missed
basically.
the first 3/4 of senior year.
Yeah.
I just, it was a plywood wall, and I knew this whenever I hit it. But half of my hand happened to catch the steel beam that was holding the building up, and so there was actually a dent where the part of my hand that did not hit it kept going. So it was it was great. It was fun. I had a blast. Anyways, control your anger. It never helps. Never helps. I've gotten it under control. I haven't punched anything since yesterday, so.
I would say that you need to drink more milk.
Or more Monster.
Because I punched a brick wall and didn't break anything.
Yeah, but I think it was because part of my hand kept going.
Probably.
Yeah, if you had punched the steel
and there
all
was
the
a
way,
lot
you
of
might have,
adrenaline in
effed
it.
up your hand, but
it was anger and also playing a game. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I drink a ton of milk and it's probably kept me from breaking more bones than I have.
What kind do you drink?
Whatever's easiest. Generally whole milk.
You don't have
Generally whole milk, 2%. I don't really care.
he drinks the whole
Patrick
vitamin
bought
D milk.
some organic bullshit this
Yeah,
last
it's real
go
good.
around, and it's disgusting. But I'm still drinking it. It's disgusting. But I'm still
It's
drinking
just
it.
like regular
No,
milk.
it does not.
Dude, almond milk, man. Come on.
I actually drink almond milk too. Or
I've been thinking about trying to
whenever
switch
I
over.
was, being healthy, but I stopped that a little bit ago. Time to get back to it.
I've been doing terrible
being
lately.
healthy or drinking milk?
Been
Drinking
awful.
milk.
Okay.
And being healthy. Both.
No, we're getting back to healthy. I keep telling myself that. See, normally I have a Monster. This is water. Bam. This is the right step.
It's just the same color as water.
Yeah.
And that's straight vodka, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he's a pretty manly man, so he doesn't even make faces when he drinks straight vodka like that in an entire gulp. He just.
I didn't know people made faces anymore. I thought that
I'm
was
boring.
high school. Not that I drank in high school because that's illegal. But
You've actually broken a bone, Will?
No, yeah, I was gonna say I'm boring. I've never broken a bone before. I've twisted an ankle. Uh, at my that's the worst I've done, I guess. So my grandparents used to own this house that was on a lake, and obviously with the house being on a hill, there was a levels to the backyard with steps, and I had jumped. We used to jump each level. I was probably 8 feet, maybe, I guess, in between levels, and they were on the sides of. So if you picture the backyard, you got the lake, and you've got the steps, probably 200 maybe from the dock where the boat was at, and the back porch,
Huh.
and every maybe 15 steps was another level, and each level would have like grass, like their yard essentially. Well, I didn't know that they had a concrete, um, I guess, barrier, if you will, that was like in a gardened area, but it was covered by shrubs. And so I jumped, and I wound up landing on the concrete barrier and twisted an ankle. That's the worst that I've ever had. So fortunately, I've never actually broken
That's,
anything.
I
That's
mean,
awful,
sprained
man.
ankles can be just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really can though.
I know. I sprained an ankle while playing basketball again, and the doctor said I probably would have been more lucky if I just broke it, because then it could, be reset and heal. I mean, I still like I can pop it at will. Like it's just
No, don't pop it at me, please.
um fine, fine. That's the after show.
And
Pop
I'm
block and
sorry,
drop
guys.
it.
I'm basically Superman. Never broken a bone. Don't got any stories to tell you.
Oh, so you're more
Played
boring than I am.
played tons of sports. Took lots of risks. Never broken a
Badminton
I
and
bone.
don't think
chess.
I don't think you played them hard enough, honestly.
He
The
played
worst,
badminton
the
and
worst
chess.
I've ever done was, yeah, it was like a really bad. I've sprained one of my ankles really bad one time, and I sprained the other ankle. Mostly they were like super minor sprains because the biggest thing that I did was I would play big man all the time, and when I was trying to get rebounds, I would jump up to get a rebound, and somebody would put their foot underneath, and I would land on people's feet, and like my foot would kind of roll before I could catch it. So usually it wasn't a bad roll, but one time like I was just not ready, and when I put that foot down, planting back from jumping, my whole ankle just like. But compared to most of the other people I know that play basketball, who we won't say their names, but rolled their ankles all the time. Literally, their ankles were broken all day, every day for like half the season. They had rolled ankles. I feel like uh, I survived.
Did
I
they
just
develop cankles?
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If I saw them today, they probably would have cankles. I don't know.
Uh,
I'll get back to you on that. Next time I see him, I'm gonna be like, pull your pant leg up, sir.
Pull your pant
Don't
leg up.
not too far, just a little,
Pants go up, not down.
just up past the calf. That's all I
Yeah, just
need.
just a little bit
Just
of
to see
risque.
if the calf muscle matches the rest of it, and if it does, then we know there's cankle.
All right.
Not, then we're fine.
Hey, so last week we had actually talked about our first like favorite albums that we had growing up, and it got me thinking.
That's never a good
Obviously,
sign.
yeah, right. Concerts obviously are not a thing at the moment, which is unfortunate because I had a couple that I had
What do you
lined up
mean? I
for.
watched this. We're all in this together. High School Musical video, where it's basically a concert. All right.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. So concerts are
Wait,
the
was it
thing.
the first or second or third movie?
The
It was the
first,
reunion. It's the reunion
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Get cultured.
Yeah, I'll have
Get
to
cultured.
bookmark that for later.
nobody likes High School Musical. It's
It is
Uh,
still to this day my favorite movie. So
I can believe that. Yeah,
God,
so
that was
with
an
concerts
awful
not being a
movie.
thing,
Let's not talk about it.
so I guess we can actually use this as a two-part. Were there concerts you guys actually had plan on going to this year?
I don't have time for concerts. Like, not at all.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Pat, no.
Um,
I know you and I have gone to BFD a couple of times, which has always been really fun.
we've gone to BF. BFD, which was always great. I've gone to multiple How the Edge Stole Christmas before the Edge, shut down.
Yeah, R.I.P. No,
Oh
like,
yeah, I
Great.
did
used
you
to
have
go to those
things
all the
planned for
time.
this year?
No, I don't think I did yet. I mean, we did have some things that we talked about way earlier in the year, but when we moved to Baton Rouge and everything, it was like, that just like completely changed everything. And then I forgot all about. I mean, all my plans went to hell in a handbasket, and then the whole last 2 months has just been me working all the time. It feels like so. I really haven't had a lot of time to devote to things that I like personally. It's mostly just like doing stuff for work and then sleeping and then waking up and working again. So
Okay, so I guess we'll use three. Your top three. What bands have you not seen live that either are still together or no longer together that you wish or you want to go see?
Top 3 bands.
Yeah, I mean, just like like a performance. Like if there was a particular band you wanted to see, maybe that you're no longer able to because they don't exist or they disbanded, or a band that is still around that you want to see but you've not seen.
Obviously, High School Musical.
Okay.
it's not a band. God,
um, hmm,
an actor.
bands I have not seen. See, I don't. My last concert I went to, I went and saw a band that I was super excited to see, and actually stopped listening to them that night. Um, so
Wait, like before you went or when you went, you
no,
stopped caring?
I stopped caring because they were so bad live. I added them to a couple playlists the other day. So maybe I'm starting to rotate them back in, but they just failed so miserably live.
What
I'm now a
band is
little
this?
scared. Silverstein. Uh,
Oh,
so I
No,
absolutely love them. Their music is awesome, but when I went and saw them live, so me and Caleb, we went to see them along with Senses Fail. We went to see Senses Fail, but Silverstein happened to be there, and I was excited for them. We actually left because Senses Fail kicked the show off and they closed it. So we actually left like 3, 4 songs into it because they were just bad. They were so bad.
so it wasn't that the sound at the venue was not.
Nope. Nope, because
Damn.
it was at the Gas Monkey Garage, but in their actual venue, so not the outside area, but their actual venue that's behind it. And I mean,
Oh,
I've seen a couple concerts there, and no, it's not the venue. It is just they are not very good live. They have a lot of
that
recording
sucks.
edits and stuff. So
Yep.
it makes it a little scary for me, honestly. I don't want to ruin another band. But I would like to see Pierce the Veil. Just, I like them. I've never seen them. I don't know though. For another two, I don't know.
and no, remember
I don't
the
know because
band doesn't
I've
have to still
generally
be around.
let's say I've generally seen like if they're bands that I just really want to see live, I made a point to see them already. Because I also don't like older bands that could still be around. I'm not a fan of older music thing. Earlier than the '90s is just
Not even Rolling
oof,
Stones.
no,
The
no.
hell's wrong with you, dude?
So I mean, definitely Pierce the Veil. Bullet for My Valentine, they'd be fun. I haven't seen them. Um, well, I guess I mean it's not necessarily possible, but I've never seen Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
but I
true.
did get to see
That's a good
Chester
one.
in one of his side projects. So I mean that was cool, but I never actually saw Linkin Park themselves.
Yeah, that's somebody I would definitely want to go see is Lincoln Park. Back when they had like really good music, because not that they didn't make good music. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying their last like 2 albums, Iridescent and the one before that, were just
I would say the very last one they put out was definitely a
okay.
better step in the
Yeah,
in their music direction, but they did a lot of experimenting, and
yeah.
it just wasn't most people's flow.
Yeah, they definitely tried to change with the times, and their fans did not change with them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know lots of people that like said their albums that I did not like at all were awesome. Like my little sister Audra thought the album after, I think it
The
was
fourth one.
Iridescent,
It was the fourth
It
one.
was a hunting party, right?
Hunting
Was
Party or Iridescent, one of the two. She thought it was like the best album ever, and then was like, "It's so much better than the other ones." And I was like, "Okay, I
Hunt-
disagree with you, but
Hunting Party was the fifth album, I want to say. Their fifth studio album. And the fourth one, yeah, was the Iridescent one. That one's a
I
little
think it was the Iridescent one that she liked, but it might have been Hunting
hard.
Power. It was one of those two. It wasn't the most recent one. I'll go next, I guess, since I have them. I would say bands that I would like to see would be. I think it would be cool to see Red Hot Chili Peppers back in the day. Um, Maybe not now as much as then because I
Wait,
think
are we talking the Red Hot Chili Peppers where they wore socks and nothing else?
hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, those guys they're pretty crazy, but I like their music a lot. So, um, I would like to see Blue October, but foiled when they came out with their foiled album, which is like I think they're probably their most popular album by far.
Mhm.
That's the one that has "Hate Me Today," "Into the Ocean."
Yeah, that was what,
Uh,
like 2006, 2007?
like there's more songs than that I could list off to you that I know you've heard and have been played on the radio. Like they
Yeah,
had like 5 or 6
they have
songs
a
that got
couple
played on the
songs that I
radio.
absolutely love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I bought one of their soundtracks, and they had their live album that they played in Austin, Texas. And dude, that sounds like it would have been the best album ever. Like they sound so good. Like it literally sounds as good, if not better, than their actual studio recordings. And it was just recorded live at someplace in Austin. I'm not sure exactly where it was at. And then the third one would be, I don't know, man. I'd probably say something like from back in the day, because like a lot of bands that I like, I mean, I could still go see them. I would love to see 21 Pilots. Never mind. I'm gonna go with 21 Pilots. I know someone here has seen them and got to, and he said it was awesome, but I
Okay, I
would
was gonna say,
love
are
to
they
go see
good?
them.
Because that's one of the
Hmm.
bands that I'd be scared of,
Okay.
because they're so produced.
So, are you done, Patrick?
I'm done. I gave you my 3
I'll
then. I'm good.
segue. I'll segue with that. So I'm not a huge concert person, mainly because I like to just put headphones on and enjoy music with nobody else. Because quite honestly, I like to sing sometimes, and I can't. It is just vocally, no, just you don't want to hear it at
But if
all.
nobody's there, you
Um,
can sing your heart out and
yes,
not
but
get
anyways,
judged.
so yeah, and it's mainly because I like to sit down. I don't really like to stand up and sway and dance with people. It's just kind of like awkward for me. I'm not about it. So typically, if I could go to a concert and sit down and watch it, that is ideal for me. But when it's other than that, no. But I went to go see 21 Pilots. I would say it was like 6 months after their first major album was
Yep.
dropped, or the first album that people knew about, I should say. It was actually their second album as that band and third album as the person who started the band.
Yeah.
But they were exceptional live. Like that, it was. They were very good. They had a ton of energy. They sounded the same. Sure, there was some aspects of their song that they couldn't include because then it would be more like seeing like a band like Dead Mouse or something like that, where it's
All
someone's
produced
there pushing a
anyways.
button.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, they had a piano, they had a drum set, and that's what they rolled with. So it was very raw and it was very good. And at one point, they had a drum set that was on a like sheet of plywood, and they got on it and pushed it out into the crowd. And there's one person playing drums on top of the crowd, and there's one person singing on top of the crowd, and it was good. It was really
That
That's
good.
pretty
sounds
sick.
awesome.
Yeah.
So it was
And this
definitely
was
good.
all available because they were at the House of Blues. where it's a very small venue and everybody was packed. Apparently, it was like an extremely
I
packed
honestly
concert,
love the House of Blues.
right?
Yeah. So basically, this is why I prefer to sit down, because at the House of Blues it was so packed that you're like this with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
Um,
on,
I
man.
saw
That's
Shine down there, and it was intense.
was great. There was a band that I had no clue who it was that opened, and I still don't know. And there was another guy that was really good, and I just forgot his name. If I looked for a minute, I know I could do it. But it was more, he was more like Dead Mouse style music. Um, he was really good live though. He mixed it well. He did all himself. He made his own like controllers. Like he used an Xbox controller to do some of the mixing, so that was entertaining. Um, but if I had to pick other bands to see live, I would like to see Mumford and Sons live, because I know
Ooh.
that they are already they sound the same.
Oh, I guarantee you they would sound the same.
Um,
Yeah.
and gee, if I had to pick another one, I don't know. I mean, I would have loved to see Linkin Park, just like
Yeah.
we said. But if I was to give it a different one, um, let's see. I do like Seether and Shinedown, and
Ooh.
but they're so past their prime now.
Shine down put on a great concert though. Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. So yeah, I would have to go with those.
not
Will,
bad
what you
choices.
got?
All right, so I've got 3. Queen,
Oh, yeah.
Nirvana, and 2004 Linkin Park.
2004 Linkin
Respectable.
Park. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and earlier you had mentioned that live album in Austin, Patrick.
Yeah.
The one of my favorite albums from Linkin Park actually is their Live in Texas album. I think it's actually from 2004. But it's amazing. And I've seen a lot of their music videos, or I guess their music videos technically, but their live performances on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just I think that would have been cool to see.
I don't know. I really need to find out where they played, because it was one of those ones that's like a big place, because
Oh
like
yeah,
they were big at the time, so there was a
yeah.
lot of people there. Like it was crazy. Like the everybody knew the words. Like everybody was singing along with them, and like at points like he like stopped singing and people were singing so loud that like it just like
You could pick it
it's
up.
like
Yeah.
just insane. Yeah, it would have been an insane concert to go to. But whatever place that is has amazing acoustics, and the way they set everything up. It's like the sound
Mm-hmm.
technology is just a great, because you'll notice that, the older you get, how like different places have just better setups. Like I don't really like Jexa
Why
Energy
does that have to do
Pavilion
with
that much.
age? What does that have to do with
I
age?
think when
I
you're
knew about acoustics when I
I
was
think
younger.
when you're younger though, it's like, you're just like hyped to go to a concert, you know? But then when
No,
you get older,
I cared
you
about
get more
location.
picky.
I cared about quality.
You're like, they're just not playing at a good venue. I'm not going. Like who says that when they're 16? It's like, okay, well, Mr. Man in the suit, fine.
You have to. Music is beautiful. You have to be a snob.
Okay.
I'm with Johnny. I prefer to listen to music
Oh,
by
I don't go to
myself
very
and
many
do what I
concerts
do what
'cause,
I
yeah, I mean,
do while I'm listening to
I
it than to go and
I
like,
am in that same boat.
yeah,
Some people I want to see live.
yeah, like Blink 182, great concert.
I was
Yes.
super
Yep.
happy to see them live.
That was
And All
a
American
great
Rejects.
experience.
Because as we talked
Yeah.
last week, that was my first album I just absolutely loved. And
Did-
they
did,
touched
uh,
on a lot of those songs.
They
Wait,
pulled
was
your
that the same
heartstrings.
concert we went to? They All American Rejects had opened.
Yeah, All American Rejects, A Day to Remember, Blink-182.
Mm-hmm.
Day to Remember is very good in
I've
concert.
seen them multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I
not
think
regret
twice, 3 times now. I don't know.
Papa Roach.
Papa Roach is sick.
Yeah,
it.
Papa
He
Roach is really
puts
good live.
on a show. Like, he's a
But
performer.
last time we saw him, their volume was too loud. And I swear to God, they made me deaf. By
I saw him in
could
the
not
Verizon
hear.
Center, so It
What?
was
Patrick, what?
it was
What?
huge.
Like I probably got permanent hearing loss from it.
That's
Damn. Well,
possible.
hey, I got my last topic. I don't know if you guys have
Okay.
got anything else after, but so last one I've got, it's actually kind of related to music and bands. As Seth, you had mentioned that one band didn't
High
sound
School
all that great.
Musical? Ah.
Yeah, yeah. No, you said they didn't sound all that great live. So I guess my question to you guys is, if you were a band, would you rather sound better live or in a studio for your albums?
Oh, live.
Live, it shows actual talent.
Are we in 2020?
Yeah, we're in 20. I mean, this is now.
Yeah. Okay. I get where
I
Seth's
would
going.
go studio. Concerts they're not what they used to be.
Okay, well, no, not
Live
right
stuff is
now with
not what they
the
used to be.
quarantine. This
No,
is
no,
post
I
quarantine.
just mean in general. Everything's going more electronic, and stuff. So I feel like less people go to concerts than they. I don't know if that's a fact,
Really?
but I
I
do feel like it because people who I used to know that went all the time don't go as much anymore.
Because it's
I
a
think that's just
young
a reflection
person
of
thing,
age.
Yeah, but
dude.
I mean, and
Yeah,
then a lot of
young
people like
people go.
they go and they watch people like Cardi B, which so that means that they have absolutely no care for talent.
Whoa.
So it's one of those like people, yeah, people follow fads. There's no skill in music right now. I think having a studio album is where you're going to reach your people. Um,
Um,
that's
Think
now,
they're
but back in the day, I definitely say live because it shows talent.
Yeah, but I mean, with you, you said do you still listen to Silverstein?
I just started listening to them again like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, what was the time period between you listening to them and then the concert?
It's been like 6 years, 7 years.
Okay,
That was
but
my second since his
the
failed
the
concert. So
experience
yeah.
at the venue because of how poorly they performed live turned you off, right? So if they perform poorly live,
Yeah,
you're
but
not going.
I'm talking about money wise though. You will make more money if you're better in the studio.
I
In nowadays life.
Yeah, but if you happen to go to a live showing, right, like you did,
Yeah, but I don't
and
feel like enough people are big enough snobs for music to where I can, someone just sucks live and I say, screw, I'm done.
uh
I'm just done. Like,
I mean, I will say that there are bands like okay, we remember when we saw AWOL Nation, Seth? I'm pretty sure you were with me when we saw that.
hmm
It was and they did not sound the
no,
same.
they did all right though for the
And they
style
did
of music and
okay.
doing it live. But but no, it
But
was
who was the band that was
I
before
can't. I
them?
was trying to think of them earlier to use them as an example because I cannot remember.
They had the
Um,
trumpet in there.
yeah, I can't remember, but they were so
uh,
bad live.
yeah,
It was hilarious. But it was at How the Edge Stole Christmas one year.
I
It
know
was
exactly what
intense.
song you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
You know what
Yeah, I
I'm
can't remember who it was though.
I cannot think of the band right now. I don't know.
Um,
But they sounded not good. It just did not
well,
vibe well
I don't know.
at
I
all.
feel like if you are good enough live, it doesn't matter how your studio produces, you will sound good in the production.
Yep,
And
true.
who I'll use as an example of that is Hosier. The guy has such raw talent that he can sound literally exactly the same live as he does in a production. And if you watch uh, the live in the New York City subway, Hosier, he did
I've
Take Me
seen
to
that.
Church.
I've seen it.
It is so good. But I mean, there's so many things that go behind producing a song versus singing live, like that people just won't understand, and the fact that a song is balanced out audio wise to
Yeah,
where the entire lyrical portion of a song is the exact same audio level when in fact in reality it's just not.
Yeah.
yep.
So
I mean, yeah, you can't expect a studio album and someone live to be the same quality. But it's when people just completely tank it live that's when it becomes a problem.
I think
'Cause-
it's the hardest for those loud bands. But the one if you have less
unless you
instruments.
get loud enough where it doesn't even matter. Like,
Right. But like, like Ed Sheeran, since he only has a guitar that he live loops, when you go see him live, he can make songs that sound almost exactly like his studio albums. But like you're saying, like Silverstein, they go so hard that I don't know. I've just felt like the worst performances I've ever seen for the most part have been from like heavier rock bands or like just alternative rock bands or like in the rock genre because their voice is either way too quiet and you can barely hear them, and their guitars and everything else and the drums, they just don't sound the same as they did on their albums, and that's what made them sound good. So then you're just like disappointed.
Yeah. So
uh,
I've got. Oh wait, Will, you didn't answer your own question. Would you like to answer your own question?
yeah,
Oh,
buddy, pal.
honestly, I mean, so this is something actually that I had been thinking about, and I've always, well, I say thinking about, but something that I've kind of processed for years now, and I actually don't have an answer, because I feel like there's a balance where you can sound incredible live, but it's possible that it doesn't transition to your studio albums. Obviously, there are artists and bands that can, but then the other hand, you've got bands that sound just absolutely incredible in a studio, but they don't sound as good live. So I honestly, as cliche as it is to say, I don't really have an answer for that, because I think my opinion changes.
Yeah,
Uh, you know,
My
no, I get that.
there are times where I feel like yeah, I think I'd rather sound better live, but at the same time, there are other times where I think I'd rather sound better in a studio, and
I
so
would my official opinion is I would rather sound better live because even if I don't become as popular because of it, I would rather just sound great, and whenever I go and play an instrument and I play a venue, I have a hella good time because part of making music is enjoying it, creating it yourself. So if you make a beautiful thing and not a lot of people know about, who cares, man? Screw people. There's a lot of famous writers, artists in general that were never popular when they were alive, and then later people realized how beautiful their work was. It's not about the money and fame you get. I feel like when you're an artist, and that's where people have gone astray in the world we live in today is people are in it for the money instead of in it for the beauty and what they're creating that has like a lasting effect on someone, because music goes on forever. It's captured in even if it's captured live on audio, that passes on forever. So yeah, if you sound better on there, but I really think like if you sound good live, you're going to sound pretty good in studio, and all those memories you create with people that you play music for live, it's just something that that you can never take away from the person that heard you. So it's like a blessing. I've never been disappointed when I've heard a band that's been great live. I've only been disappointed when I heard a band that wasn't good live that sounded like they were good. That's just my personal opinion on it.
I get that.
yeah,
Get
food for
that.
thought. Hey, if
Um,
you've actually to the audience, if you guys have an opinion on that, let us know in the comments. That'd be interesting to hear what you guys have to say.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
because I know we have a lot of music lovers that listen to us.
So I was actually having a conversation with one of those music lovers the other day, and she brought up a question that it made me think. It definitely made me think. So I'm gonna throw it out real quick. It should be just a quick answer. But and granted, this is someone who, definitely respect her music taste. But as so she asked me if a band that I absolutely loved, someone on that got convicted for something or blamed for something,
Oh
like,
no.
would you change your opinion on that band? Um, so you know how there's a lot of different things, like with people coming out talking about things that have happened in the past for different celebrities. If that happened to one of your favorite bands, would you still be able to enjoy their music, or would you you know put them aside?
That's a tough question.
Jeez,
Yeah,
dude,
I
that's
mean,
not a
let's make
quick.
make quick answers on it, but you know, think about it if you need to.
Uh, quick answer. I mean, people mess up, people make mistakes. They, they do things, they do drugs, whatever. It happens to a lot of people, but that doesn't define the person. Now, you go to a deeper level and you go to something like child rape or something like that. That's something that can't. That's mental. It's forever, you know. So if something on that level, then no, I could never listen to the band again. If something else, then
Yeah, I agree.
you get over it.
Wait, Johnny's saying is the severity of what they've done
Mm-hmm.
would define whether I could listen to them or not. And there might be some things that there's a gray in, but in extreme cases, probably would never listen to him again if they did something that was so gross and disgusting and just like it couldn't sit right with me, then I probably wouldn't listen to him anymore. But if it's something where they make stupid mistakes, get in a fight, beat somebody up, or like, get caught with drugs or something, because that's just like the lifestyle that they live. A lot of bands are like that. I probably wouldn't hold it against them because, everybody's on their own journey. So yeah, it would be by like what they've done. It would really depend on what they've done, man. If they did something that was really bad, yeah, I wouldn't listen to them anymore.
And to Patrick's point there, I mean, I guess it also depends on if the other band members had known about the issue, because sometimes you'll hear things where someone will come out and say, "Hey, this is something I did," uh, and then the people around them didn't know that person had done whatever it was they had just announced that they had done. So I guess it also takes into account, if it's something that they had done and the people, the team members, the bandmates around that person didn't know. But then, depending on what it was, maybe it's something they did know and they decided to not necessarily cover it up, but not speak about it or not talk about it. I think that can also have an impact on whether or not you lose the respect for that band. But yeah, like Johnny said earlier, depending on, I guess, the severity of what it was that they were convicted of or what they had pled to. Like you
Yeah.
said, there are some things is just like, that's inexcusable and it's unforgivable, and you would stop supporting that. Uh,
I'm almost positive I know why she's asking this question because I know I'm thinking of something right off the top of my
We
head.
can
But
talk about it
yeah.
afterwards because I don't want to.
Uh,
I don't know how many facts are based on the situation, so I don't want to like drag someone's name through the mud on allegations. I don't know for a
right.
fact, but for me personally, I agree with what y'all say. But when it comes to Census Fail, which is a band I live and die by, they've gotten me through a lot. I don't know. It would be one of those I'd have to be in the moment to actually know. Just because that's a band I don't think I could ever stop listening to. But for pretty much anyone else, yeah, based on severity. Yeah,
But like Will said, if there's an entire band and one person makes a mistake
yeah,
and they
but
and they make such a huge mistake, they're gonna go to jail. It's not like they're gonna be
well,
able
I
to
mean,
spend
let's
or
say
profit
I
off of
guess I
it.
should have
So I don't
specified
know.
like maybe a lead singer because they are like the core of the band. You can't not like if they switch out a guitarist,
Yeah,
you'll never know.
Yeah.
But if
true.
they switch out a
yeah,
singer, then
case
you're
in
like
point,
this has
3 days
changed.
grace.
Oh God, no.
No, not that anything
True.
happens. They switched out the lead
I
singer
know,
in
and it was
case.
not the
So
same anymore.
yeah.
So yeah,
All right, well,
that day.
that's all I got.
Official opinion done.
All right.
Stamp of
Outro,
approval.
I guess. Real quick, I do have one wild card question. I'm gonna ask Johnny, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask the other the hosts to get their opinions out of it. Very briefly, we'll get this question out of the way. Johnny, have a quick question.
Mhm.
I keep saying quick question. I don't know why. I need your thoughts on this. Would you consider cereal to be a soup?
No.
There we go. That's all we needed. Sorry, Seth.
That's, oh,
Hey, so
According
before
to
we
the
get to the
definition of soup, it is a soup.
Nah.
Anyways, what you got? Will?
okay, so I was gonna say, so
Yeah, no,
we're outroing.
just no. No. Never.
I just want to say a big thank you to Johnny for your service, and then also for coming on, man. We really enjoyed having you.
Yeah.
Really
Fun being
interesting
here.
background and what you do. So thank you for the insight on that. So I want to
Also,
go ahead and
interesting
also say,
background because Star Wars is awesome. That's where I
yeah,
thought he was
yeah,
going.
Oh,
there
okay,
we go.
okay.
One of the suggestions, but we actually had heard from you guys. You guys had asked for the timestamps for each of the topics that we discuss to be listed in the video description. Starting with last week's episode, we actually went ahead and did that. So you'll find each of the topics that we talk about are going to be linked in the video description. So if there's something in that particular topic that maybe interests you more, you can go ahead and actually just click to it. We're actually retroly actively adding that to the older videos, so just bear with us. It's a time-consuming process, but we're working on getting that taken care of for the older videos that we've got. So starting with last week's episode, moving forward, all future episodes of the Talking Guys will actually have the timestamps and the video description for you guys.
Sweet.
Also,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
one away from 50 subs. So this last week, you guys went ahead and helped us out by subbing. So thank you very much to those that have. To those that
Appreciate
haven't,
you.
maybe consider it. So we got something really big planned. This is episode 8, right? Yeah, so we got
Yes,
something
it
really
is.
big planned coming up for episode 10. If you want to know more later in the week, we'll actually drop that, maybe what we're doing on episode 10 at the Facebook and the Twitter pages. So make sure to go ahead and follow us or like the Facebook page, and then you guys can stay up to date on what we're doing.
Yep.
Free T-shirt, guys,
Uh,
for everybody.
What? I don't know if we agreed to this. Okay, cut it,
yeah,
cut
this
it, cut
this is this is the first I'm hearing of that.
Do we have T-shirts made yet?
And now we have to honor that. Except we're not doing this live, so edits.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, true.
No. Anyways, thanks again for watching, guys. Check back next week. We'll have another episode for you. So,
All right.
yeah.
Everyone have a
Until
great
next
day.
time.
Appreciate you,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Hey,
Yeah, no
thank
problem.
you,
You
Johnny.
guys have a good one.
You too.